Hello and welcome to Group D of the round of 24 of ASL Season 20, done in partnership with Google Play and Gravity. As befitting the hot weather we've been having, the matches in last week's groups were likewise just as heated. What unexpected twists can we expect this week? Let's have a word with our Zergs ahead of this round of 24 Group D. Hello. Hello. First up, Group D's Tier 1 player Queen, who had to fight his way through the qualifiers with some difficulty. Barring the Season 17 elimination in the qualifiers, this was the first time Queen made it through the second round of qualifiers since Season 9. I thought I was dead, you said. How did you feel once the qualifiers concluded? Ever since I got eliminated that one time, I feel the qualifiers are more difficult than the round of 24 or the round of 16. It was scary this time around as well, but luckily I made it through. All throughout last week, starting with Group A and ending on Group C, the Tier 1 players had a slightly shaky time, as two of them advanced only in second place and one got eliminated in fourth. Do you think you'll be able to save the Tier 1 pride today? If I get knocked out today, that means either Calm or HyuN advances. I couldn't bear to see that happen. I'll take that as you're sure you'll be winning today. Of course. Got it. Up next we have Tier 4 player HyuN. Since your debut in the ASL, this is the first time you're making an appearance 2 seasons in a row. I would like to hear what your impression is going into this one. I'm feeling relaxed. I came here hoping to take one player down. I feel like my friend 910, the ASL manager, will be more stressed about this one than I am. HyuN says he's feeling relaxed. Looking at him this season, I'm getting a sort of carefree vibe. How confident are you if we consider the group as a whole? I am more comfortable playing against Zerg than I am against Terran or Protoss. I'll take it easy today. Understood. And returning like a phoenix, it's effort. Following Season 16, you're back after 4 seasons. While you made the top 4 of that season, you chose not to participate in the one that followed. How are you feeling having taken your sabbatical? I'm back after a while, and straight away I'm being put to the test with 4 Zergs. I want to do well and win. Now, my first opponent today actually took me down in the first round of the qualifiers. Today, I will get my revenge. Right, but your track record in ZVZ was really good when you played. So, regardless of there being this gap, many people have high expectations for you. Can we expect you to indeed rise like a phoenix from the ashes? I always wanted to take things easy, but it wasn't working. I prepared quite diligently, so I'll try and do my best. Can't wait. Now let's turn to our final player of the day, Tier 3 player. It's Calm, aka the Brains. You're the only player in Group D that made it in through the first day of the qualifiers. Looking at the qualifiers, you really stood out amongst the 3 Kim clans. How was it for you? To be honest, I think I already proved myself there. Today, it's time to teach these Day 2 qualifiers Zergs a thing or two. Watch and learn. Oh, this will be interesting. Now, Calm, you haven't played that many ZVZs in ASL proper, with your last one being 4 seasons ago, but the players you took down were Solki and Soma. Seeing how fierce those opponents were, expectations are high for you today. Looking at the Zergs in Group D today, do you think you'll be able to stand head and shoulders above them? My final practice round was against Soma, and I won. I'm feeling confident today. I see. Let's dive deeper into our discussion about Group D. Seeing how the lineup is just straight up 4 Zergs, it really seems like it will be unpredictable. And people are wondering if perhaps you also had trouble actually finding practice partners. Please tell us a bit about how you prepared, one by one. I actually prefer to only have to practice against one race when preparing, so I actually felt it was more comfortable. Now, I only practiced with one person, but that person was the best of the best. Sulky. I'm sure I'll advance today. I kept streaming until yesterday. I'm just taking it easy today. Yeah. Calm says he practiced with Soma, aka Little Jaedong. Well, I played with the real Jaedong, so I think I have a decent shot today. I'm confident. Well, for starters, Queen says he practiced with Sulky. I used to practice with Sulky, but he can't play anymore, so I dropped him as a practice partner. What's the use? Now this guy, HyuN, he was playing Card Rider yesterday and just died. An effort? His hairstyle is... I mean, it is a hairstyle, I guess. Oh my god, what is even happening here? So effort and calm. You guys already played this season in the finals of Group 11 on the first day of qualifiers, with Calm coming out on top with a 2-1 victory. I am curious to see how a best of one between the two today would pan out, or will pan out. Effort, Calm, what do you have to say? I got overconfident that time and underestimated my opponent. Today, I won't take him lightly. I'll do my best and make sure to take him down. Take him down no matter what, says Effort. And Calm? I'm still riding high off of that victory. I'll keep riding the wave. I see. Now, it's not just Calm, because HyuN is also a player that many consider to be able to throw a wrench in the works when it comes to the best-of-1 games of the round of 24. And just like HyuN, just like HyuN said, he always takes down at least one player in the round of 24. Are you going to claim a victim today too? Oh, I forgot, but yeah, I won in all the losers matches. I don't know who it will be, but I'll try to claim one player in the losers match. Yeah. Got it. Today is a group that many people were looking forward to already, but hearing this interview, it just makes it ever so exciting to see what's coming. Let's hear these guys' final remarks. The better my games go recently, the more people are worried about me in this group. I'll win and prove that all of this worrying was for naught. I will make my friend 910 look like the villain today. Whether I go to the winners or losers match, I run the risk of playing HyuN. That is scary. I'll try and ride it out today. I'll join HyuN and help pin this group on 910. Thank you. This is ASL Season 20, brought to you by Google Play and Gravity. Who will succeed in advancing to the round of 16 today? Let's start Group D of the round of 24 and find out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. The ASL continues on. We're in the round of 24, and this is Group D. D for ZVZ. It's going to be an all-out Zerg brawl today. Every once in a while, we get a matchup, a group like this, where it's just going to be one matchup. And today will be the shortest matchup. Could be the shortest group possibly ever in ASL.
It would be pretty surprising if 5 best-of-1 ZVZs aren't faster than everything else. In fact, we probably will have one game in the round of 24 that's longer than all the games today put together. That's very likely. ZVZ is insanity. It's so much about aggression, so much about micro and tiny optimizations. It's going to be a wild day, and anything could happen here today as well. Like, ZVZ is the highest volatility matchup by miles.
It is a very inhibitive matchup. It has the least number of workers made and the least number of units made, if you can believe that. Even though, obviously, you have Zerg as a race, you kind of think of Zerg as a very swarmy, take the whole map kind of race. But the reality is that Zerglings and Mutalisks are so strong that it's almost impossible to tech out of it. Does it mean it won't happen? We've had games where they do end up teching past that into Hive. We've even seen crazy stuff like Lurkers or Defilers used in the matchup. But A lot of times it's short. Sometimes it's as short as a few minutes. You might just get the upper hand in a Zergling fight, and the game kind of snowballs from there.
Yeah, it's actually kind of hilarious because like ZVZ is like what really shows just how strong Zerg units are. I like that you said that because it's like the best units in the game are the Zergling, the Mutalisk, and the Defiler, and it shows. It's like, well, those units are so good that Zerg sometimes can't get off of one hatch, like because they'll just kill each other with it. But yeah, that is the cost of playing the race, man, and it's going to be wild. But at least we're going to add 2 more Zergs to that round of 16.
Yeah, after tonight, it's going to be 5-4-3 for the racial distribution here. You can see the results of Group A, B, and C. By the way, all days, fantastic days of games. So today, we're going to be banging out Group D. And from there, it's going to be E and F, both of which are looking very exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. So far, this ASL has been amazing. It does feel like we might end up with a pretty even distribution here for the round of 16 as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be pretty close. There'll probably be like one less Protoss than we want, I think. But overall, it's going to be like a really pretty balanced round of 16.
So our lineup tonight, it's Queen, Effort, Calm, and HyuN. I think Queen 100% is going to move on. Effort has looked really strong, but maybe a little bit inconsistent. Calm, I think, is a very close contender to Effort, and I think he's also just a great ZVZ player as well. I would say these players are a league above HyuN, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But HyuN has very solid ZVZ. He could cause an upset here. He could create some real chaos in this group, so we got to keep our eye on him too.
Yeah, I don't think HyuN's style is as good for ZVZ. We know that Queen is god tier. We know that Effort is god tier. And, well, actually, I mean, Calm, if you look back at his Kespa days, he was a god tier ZVZ type style player.
Sure.
For me, I look at this, and I personally value Effort as, like, third best-ish Zerg, somewhere around there, like his overall quality of play. Like I actually always value Queen high as well, but like Effort is something special. Like if StarCraft 2 had come out 2 years later, I think we wouldn't talk as much about Jaedong. We'd be talking more about Effort, to be honest. So like I look at this group and I think Effort is going to come out of here no matter what.
Queen, it's so exciting to see him in this group and how he's going to perform. I think it's going to be a great test on where he's at in ZVZ. This is when he should come out, first, but who knows? He could end up getting eliminated here. Queen's role in the ASL has been very important because he was the player that was supposed to be able to pull off what Sulky has now done. For the longest period of time, we were talking about Flash in ASL and will anybody stop him? But there were periods where Queen was rising to the top. He was winning ASLs. And it looked like he might be able to usurp Flash. But now we're in a different era. We're in the era of Sulky. Queen is old news on some level. Still, I think, a very viable threat. I think there's nobody he can't beat in this ASL. So we want to see how he performs. And by the way, this matchup we're going into right now with Queen versus HyuN, this should be the most one-sided of the fights we have tonight.
You might be right about that. But it is best of 1, so anything could happen. But yeah, I kind of agree with your assessment there on Queen. Like, Queen, if he wins in another ASL, I won't even be surprised. I was actually valuing him as, like, third best player in last ASL. And he made the round of 8, but, he ended up losing that insane series against Best, if I recall correctly. And Best was just on fire last season. So, like, Queen is in great shape. You cannot underestimate him. I do wonder, though, what HyuN brought. HyuN is a smart guy. He's actually technically the oldest player in ASL. He's got a ton of experience, a ton of tournament experience. He was a really highly ranked StarCraft 2 Zerg as well. I think he's going to bring some very decisive builds and just try to run these guys over.
Okay, we're going to be going to Dominator here for Map 1. Game 1 of our ZVZs tonight is starting now here as we move on here. Group D of the ASL. Okay, Queen here in the top left, and HyuN in the bottom right. Sorry, in the center right of Dominator. Real quick plug, guys, consider signing up for our Patreon. We need your support. Every season, our Patreon rises up, and then when it ends, some people cancel, and it begins to sink back down. So please help us rebuild that. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And because of you guys supporting us on the Patreon, we're able to continue to do this on into the future.
Yeah, and I hope it lasts forever so that we can eventually see that everyone figures out Zerg is the strongest race and all the groups look like this.
It's the future. 25 years of StarCraft, here we're at it now, but 25 more years, only Zerg.
Yeah,
only the
Zergs
true
left.
form of Brood War, just ZVZs.
Yep, that's in the future for sure. It's funny because when the maps were first released, people were like, "Oh, this seems like it's a snipe on Sulky." Like, "Oh, these maps seem like they're going to be kind of hard for Zerg overall." And then we get like so many Zergs qualifying, and Zerg's just excelling. It doesn't even almost matter on the maps. It's kind of a funny race like that because it's like maps that we used to think were really bad for Zerg's figured out how to play on, and then they're just fine. It's the race is actually like so flexible like that. It's just you can get so much quality out of your units, and every stage of the game can be so strong for Zerg. And we're I feel like we are like entering this Zerg age. In fact, we're already there. Sulky brought us there.
Yeah, well, it's been kind of crazy. I'm curious about, let's say Sulky wins again here. What exactly is the buzz going to be online? Because I do feel like we've always spoken as if Flash was the best. And then there was occasional moments where someone would come and, take the throne away, but not for too long. And Flash would come back and reclaim it. But now Sulky is basically doing the perfect run. It's been 2 years in a row of Sulky just winning.
Yeah.
4 ASLs. We have 2 ASLs a year. So it's been incredible to see. I'm kind of curious, how long does he have to do that for before then we kind of switch the narrative away from Flash and fully onto Sulky? And maybe it's already happened a little bit online here in these online StarCraft communities.
Well, I mean, I would like to see that in a way.
I mean Korean StarCraft communities. Excuse me.
I would like to see that in a way because I think actually Flash will play next year. I'm pretty sure. Like, I follow what Flash says, as any good Terran player does, and I think he'll be back next year, and that would make that really fun. Also, I do want to mention, dude, Nada is practicing like crazy. Like, that's what I actually want to see. I want to see everyone be like, it's going to be Flash versus Sulky, and then Nada comes in. And he's like 3 years or 4 years older than the next oldest player and just beats everyone. He's like, I was always the GOAT, guys. What are you doing? That's what I want to see.
That would be pretty hype. A player from that era, that would be just such a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
By the way, it's one hatch layer before Zergling Speed, by the way, into Spire. This was not one where he decided, oh, wow. Hold on a second. This is a great setup. This is very subtle. Hold on. Forget about everything.
Yeah.
He's showing sixlings here. This looks like it would be the original sixlings that were made. But in fact, there are 6 more lings that are hidden over here. And he positioned those lings just in the blind spot.
Yeah.
Because what it looks like is he's rushing with 6 to 8 lings. In fact, it's going to be near double that.
Oh,
and
man.
so it's possible extra drones were made. I don't know if Queen can keep this base alive.
Yeah, this is looking a little rough. He's getting a few hits as those hatch out of the eggs. Good try there from HyuN. He definitely has a few more lings, but with the drones up here, we actually have Queen zoning really well at the moment. And here we go. HyuN is going to pull the trigger and try to jump in. The drones messing with his attack quite a bit.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. The drones, remember, they have ranged shots. And so if you have the drones paired with the lings, and remember also, your Zerglings will always target their Zerglings over the drone. It's not like StarCraft 2 where they'll just target whatever's attacking them close to them. And so that was controlled basically perfectly. HyuN is now running back here. There's a ton of Zerglings coming out here for Queen. The Spire's done, and I think there's 2 to 3 Mutalisks being made. He also has a turtled-up Sunken colony that's going to be morphed here. The arc here at the entrance is really strong. Seems like Queen's going to try to force entry.
Yeah, he's going to hold that bottom for a little bit. The Sunken, he just needs to buy a little bit of time for. More lings are still flooding out here for Queen. He definitely has that production advantage, and he is going for the Evolution Chamber. But here go the Mutas now. HyuN is just going to fly across the map and see what damage he can get done with the initial Mutalisks.
So the Mutalisks, obviously they can pick off drones, but there's not a lot of them, so they can't kill anything off very quickly. They certainly can't kill a spore in time here. And so you basically... Oh, he does manage to get that one. He's going to have to pull away. And we see this a lot of times in ZVZ where the Zerg on 2 bases with the layer has to throttle their tech for a second. They can't just go straight into Mutalisks. They actually have to like hard stop and then throw down 4 spore colonies and then resume gas mining. And it becomes a little bit of a weird looking game because yes, Queen in this case, HyuN in this case is teched into Mutalisks. Queen, he's got 2 bases, but he hasn't really been able to explode in drones or get that income here where he can get his own Mutalisks out.
Now, one of the most common ways for the one-hatch player to end up winning in this type of position is to place the Mutalisks basically around the ramp that goes to the natural. If you kind of sit the mutas there, you can stop rotation of anything from the main hatchery to the natural hatchery. And sometimes you can do things like overwhelm with Zerglings to kill the spores, or you build up to the right Mutalisk count and you find like a spore that's not covered by other spores. So we'll see if he utilizes this exact area that he's sitting in right now. There's not a whole lot else he can do because that spore placement is very good from Queen.
Yeah. Ling counterattack's going to come down here. The mutas have wedged in between the main and the natural, just like Tastosis said. He's got a counterattack here with these links. Now, the hatchery that HyuN was making had to be canceled. He's sending his own Zerglings back, but if these Zerglings of Queens try to come up and defend, then he can just use the mutas to try to hit him in between there. I think he actually canceled the spore and made a sunk. Yeah, so he's making a sunk in the main, but that's a great moment to kind of force them to make that sunken colony and then back away.
That's really, really good. I'm very surprised, by the way, the one Zergling of Queen denied the natural being taken from HyuN, so he's actually made an extra hatchery in his main base, which means he's not going to get that extra gas. If Queen just turtles hard, he's going to have a second gas, and he will eventually run over HyuN.
So I guess the number is 5. 5 Mutalisks one-shot a drone. I didn't actually know that, but it's pretty evident is from the one-shotting that's happening over here now. And, you know, these Lings are always going to be a bit of a threat. Even if you were to, you know, attack across the map with everything you had here for Queen, even with a sunk in the main, the natural would be at risk here of being hit. But what Tastosis pointed out a minute ago is pretty important. 2 gases is way more than 1. And so even though the Mutalisk count right now, I think it's up to 5 or 6 in this game for HyuN, Queen can eventually catch up with that double gas. And obviously 2 bases is way better than 1 and lets you get way more. Oh god, I didn't even realize. Yeah, I guess the spore placement here makes the drones mine inefficiently.
Well, better to mine inefficiently than to lose them, I guess, to the Mutalisks. This is a terrible position now for HyuN. You know, he definitely had a little window there where he's trying to abuse the space in between the ramps, but I think that sunken in the main base really cured everything that was going wrong for Queen. So I think at this point, Queen has kind of outdone HyuN a little bit, and with this many spores, he's very comfortable to just, you know, slowly but surely tech up and build his Mutalisk count. It's really hard to imagine HyuN being able to win this game from here.
This is a pretty long game, by the way, for a ZVZ here. We're getting to, like, you know, the point where the Mutalisk accumulation is happening. Upgrades are going to be important as well. The armor upgrade pretty much always is better than the attack upgrade, but it does cost slightly more. So there are games we see attack upgraded over armor, but like if one guy gets attack and the other guy gets armor, the armor player wins that fight.
Reducing by 3 damage is way better than increasing by 1 damage, no doubt about that, but it is that more expensive upgrade. So there are, you know, if the game goes really long, sometimes you'll see 1-1 instead of 0-2 because it really starts costing a lot more at that point. But some Zerglings coming in and trying to cancel out this hatch for HyuN, and it's going to work. They're going to get the hatchery. Has to cancel that, so that is even a later gas. Things are really falling apart for HyuN right now. Queen building up his Mutalisk and Scourge count, and I bet you he's getting +1 carapace as well. So, like, as that comes up, I don't see HyuN being able to do really much of anything.
Now, if you get +1 carapace, I think generally the rule is you immediately go into +2. Is that correct?
Sometimes players will go into +1 attack because it's 225 for +2 and 100 for air. And the second armor upgrade only reduces 2 damage, not 3 damage. So, you know,
Interesting.
we see both. Like, technically, the +2 carapace for Flyers is better in Mutalisk versus Mutalisk, but some players do go for +1 second, +1 attack.
So the Mutalisk accumulation is continuing on here. Again, that forced cancel on that hatchery is just devastating. Right now, Queen has 1 drone for each mineral patch. That's basically optimal in ZVZ. Queen has a ton of mutas and some Scourge, but right now HyuN has way more Scourge, which means if they did get into a fight, assuming the Scourge connected with most of their targets, HyuN would dominate. Of course, pathing in Brood War is maybe one of the most important features of the game. Things don't engage each other always cleanly. And so there is a world where like you micro correctly and you can gun down Scourge as they try to hit you. It's one of the most important, maybe in all of StarCraft 1, maybe one of the most important engagements is ZVZ, Mutalisks, and can they shoot down the Scourge before they connect, or do the Scourge connect to their targets?
It's huge because, you know, all the things that kill mutas actually fly. So Scourge are like, they are the buddies of mutas to try to protect them that way. And we've seen, you know, Mini working on that Corsair micro against Scourge. We've seen Terran players working on Valkyrie micro versus Scourge. But all that being said, here we go. Queen has decided he has enough. Okay, more Scourge definitely just hit HyuN than Queen. Queen wins. That is, Queen definitely has way more here.
Did we see the upgrade count here?
No, they never actually ended up showing it. I think Queen has +1 carapace. Oh, no, he skipped it.
No, he doesn't. Wow, okay, so it's actually armor versus no upgrades here. But yeah, when you win the big muta fight, especially if there's no spores here, that's it. GG, game 1 is going to go to Queen, the result we expected. I think HyuN put up a good fight. I really liked the fake out with the 6 lings.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
At the start.
I liked it, yeah.
It happened so fast we almost couldn't jump on it, but it was really cool to see. And, you know, look, Queen had the right answer. He pulled about 4 or 5 drones and kept them in the group with the Zerglings, and that's enough additional damage that it buys you time to get your own lings out.
Well, HyuN, I think he did bring a cool strategy. He tried his best there, but Queen just shows that he is, in fact, that different level that you were talking about. Goes to that winner's match. Looking very strong in Zerg vs. Zerg, as always.
Okay, guys, we're going to be going to a break in a second here. Queen right now looking like a real threat to just get out of this group. In what was, pretty straightforward ZVZ. I think he handled that muted tech really well. Knew when to pump the brakes, throw down the spores, play it safe, get in there, shut down that second base from starting up. Maybe the biggest moment was actually that second base being denied. So much less gas there. Anyways, guys, effort versus calm coming up next.
Made for the best. Made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design. A quantum leap in speed. Optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling. And a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
We're back, everybody. Time for some more ZVZs here. I don't know. Queen looking very strong, HyuN. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out of here. I mean, both Effort and Calm are so strong and so confident in ZVZ. You were saying something earlier, Tastosis, that I really liked, is that StarCraft 2 hadn't come out. We might be talking about Effort the same way we talk about Jaedong.
Yes.
Like, Effort kind of showed up right at the end, and then, you know, it's not that nobody played StarCraft 1 when StarCraft 2 hit, but it did completely change the whole landscape. I mean, there was so many opportunities when StarCraft 2 hit. Whether you were a player, you know, there was some of these tournaments with money and a new game, your skills could transfer over. There was new viewership, new fans, opportunities to travel. And so, like, there was just this shift over, like, I would say the 3 or 4 years of StarCraft 2 in the early days where people just kind of switched over. And yeah, there were tournaments and things were happening. Like, I know Bisu never switched to StarCraft 2, but it is a kind of a blind spot here for us historically, but yeah, that was right when Effort kind of hit his peak.
Yeah, and
was when StarCraft 2 hit.
Everyone was forced to start practicing on the Kespa team. So, like, people don't realize that the top players have always rotated. The very few players have had like super long successful careers. It was like Boxer and Nada were kind of the only two that really went deep in their careers. And you know, Effort, Fantasy, and Zhongbi were all rising up right when StarCraft 2 forced everyone to switch over. So yeah, this guy was right on Jaedong's heels. He actually is the only player in the world with winning records against Flash in best of fives. So, like, he's a god-tier Zerg, and I value him unbelievably high. The last time he was in ASL, I was actually calling him to win it in the round of 24, and he ended up falling eventually. But he was looking fantastic. I think he's looking really good right now. And I think that he's probably favored in this group because I think his very decisive style with his great micro is going to pay off here.
Yeah, he is such a sharp player, and in a matchup that's very punishing. Like, you can literally lose ZVZ because you messed up and lost one extra Zergling. That does happen. You misclick once with the mutas in a fight, and you do get taken out. Yeah, I don't know. This one I think should be much closer. Out of all the players together here, I'm most interested in seeing how these two are going to fight.
Yeah, I think that this one will be good because Calm is actually really smart. He's like he's like the Zerg equivalent of Shuttle in a lot of ways, where all the other pros kind of tease him and make fun of him. But he's legitimately really good. He was #1 on the ladder like a year ago. He's been practicing. He's in pretty good shape. But he's a very intelligent player. So I think he's going to come in with some good ideas of how to win this game.
Her sign's the wrong way. You got to flip the sign around.
Is that Effort with Eagle Wings taking a cat or saving a cat? I don't know. Oh, my God.
Man, remember when every pro gamer had that haircut, by the way?
Yep.
That we see Calm having?
I
remember just watching. It was like every pro gamer and then me with like my emo scene kid haircut at the same time back at home. Like, yeah.
How do you like
the hairstyle has
definitely
changed. I think we're in the wrong timeline with the haircut we're seeing right now, man. Yeah, this is the haircut of the I know the name of every reptile haircut. Like, this is. All right, guys.
Skink fan over here.
We're gonna go into game 2. We got to bring those the old school haircuts back, guys. Calm, Effort. Let's do this. All right, Effort in the right center position, and Calm here in the bottom left.
All right. Yeah, you know, one of the things that I have had Zerg players tell me is they change their strategies a little bit in Zerg vs. Zerg based on their spawns. So, for instance, your mining on the right spawn here is better than on this bottom spawn. This bottom left spawn has the worst mining on this map, whereas this right spawn has, if you control it correctly, the best mining. So, just wanted to put that out there. Like, Because I've actually had some good Zergs. Like Eon Zerg was telling me this when he was in Korea about based on his spawn, he'll change slightly his pool timing just to make sure he doesn't get, like he'll change his build order selection basically so that he doesn't get destroyed by someone who's, 3, 4, 5 seconds ahead.
Makes sense. We were saying earlier, this is the matchup where the least number of workers and units in general are made because Lings are so strong and mutas are so strong that it's kind of hard to ever tech past that, if not impossible, in pretty much 99% of games. And since the Zergling, it's like the first unit you get, and you can get enough Zerglings to navigate the game into layer to get mutas out, and of course mutas are like the best unit, maybe the best unit in the game,
yeah,
by some metrics here. They you never really see anything made past that. So like getting a third base is pretty rare. When it happens, it's super exciting. That's like if Terran gets like a 5th or 6th base in a TVP as an example. Like that's the kind of game that you're in. So let's see what they go for here, because I guess the point I was trying to make is that because you can't get that many workers right away, you need to figure out your build pretty quickly. In some of these games, you don't see more than, sometimes not even more than 15 workers in some of these games for the Zerg.
It's very, very true. The last time we had a Hive Zerg vs. Zerg in the pro scene was an effort game. It was effort versus action. And actually, since Remastered came out, every game in the pro scene with Hive had action in it. I just want to put that out there. And actually, action is the strongest player who did not qualify this season. Huge upset that he didn't make it in. He's normally like a round of 8 guy, and he didn't make it in. So that was kind of a crazy thing. So shout out there to poor action. But effort here is opening with a more aggressive type of opener. He is staying on the 1 base. It was like an overpool opener into gas right away. Whereas Calm, he did go pool first, but he is going for that hatchery. So kind of similar what we're seeing to the builds that we saw in the previous game. But we'll see how effort controls this a little bit different than HyuN did.
Okay, the Lings are streaming down here. Calm has made exactly enough that he won't die to the pressure. The layer is going to finish earlier here for effort, but Calm's isn't that far away, and effort has saved up enough. He can throw a hatchery down in a second here. So, the layer is going to be in the lead here. Tech Mutalisk is going to be in the lead for effort, but Calm... well, hold on a second. Is effort not going to make that hatchery? I think the drone actually went back. I was about to say that effort will have a later hatchery.
He told it to
have the earlier
mine.
Hatchery.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it looked like he was definitely thinking about it. I don't know. That was weird because he brought it up, then he spent the money. I think he just... The thing about effort, and part of what makes him so good, is he's incredibly decisive. So he might have just decided he was like going to expand, then he saw something, he's like, nope, Zerglings. Like that.
You know what? I think he did it because the Overlord would have seen it before it was leaving. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
But he might have showed it to the Overlord, and then the assumption is just, okay, there's a base building there. When in fact, I think effort is much more all in here.
Well, he has quite a few Lings. He actually puts good damage onto that hatchery. Calm, it seems like Calm has enough here, but Effort's micro is really insanely good. So he is... Dude, he's going to get the hatch. Are you kidding me?
This is wild. So he was trying to also scout the main, what effort was. So he basically got blocked a couple times. Notice that Calm has slow Lings. They're still slow. He never got that upgrade. And so Calm lost the hatchery. Now there's barely... anything to defend back here. I know that there's one sunken colony in the main. He's going to try to counterattack with some of these Lings.
Well,
and he's going to loop right... Oh, man. Hold on.
Dude, effort with some really killer instinct, but good drone drill here from Calm. Blocks that. Doesn't lose any drones. A huge amount of slow Lings coming in, but between a sunken colony and 3 mutas, I think Calm is kind of screwed.
Yeah, I think drone drilling is going to be extremely strong here. Interesting to see the second sunken colony thrown down there. He's going to try to just dive on some of these Lings, or some of these drones, excuse me. He's got 4 Mutalisks out. I think he can just barely tip the scale.
Yeah.
This is such a technical game. He's going to just have enough if he splits the Scourge and has one Scourge hit a different, each Scourge has a different Mutalisk, basically. There's literally no way that Calm can survive the fight, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough mutas to really do the anti-Scourge micro here. So I think we're just about to see this game end. So see, he gets a hit right there. He gets 2 hits, in fact, and that's going to be game. Very decisive, aggressive, micro-intense game here from Effort, as expected. Unfortunate for Calm. GG.
GG. Great game from Effort. Yeah, I can't believe he both got the hatchery and then, you know, got in there with that counterattack with the Lings and got some more drones. Was smart enough to make the second Sunken Colony. Basically a perfect ZVZ, if we're going to break it down.
Yeah, he executed it magnificently. I don't think there's really much of a different way to say it. He out-microed Calm. He kept the aggression on. He did a great job. And, you know, when the Mutalisk counts are low, the Scourge are even more powerful. And he knew that he had a slight edge in that way. So great job there from Effort. He will go to the winners match here against Queen, and that is going to be probably the best Zerg vs. Zerg of the night.
Yeah, props to Effort. I cannot wait to see Effort versus Queen. It's going to be so good to see those two guys duke it out. Should be probably the best ZVZ of the whole tournament here.
Very likely.
I mean, we're talking about two guys, yeah, that are just god tier at the matchup. Two players that, by the way, never really suffered in ZVZ, unlike many, you know, Sulky as an example. A lot of times his ZVZ is what held him back. These two guys have always thrived in ZVZ.
Yeah. Well, this is also why people are asking if Sulky's going to win a 5th. I think the Zerg lineup is too deep. Like, someone, you know, this has always been the problem with Zerg. Like, Zerg players couldn't really carry their teams back in the old day because they get sniped by other Zergs. It's like, oh, you're putting Jaedong out? It's okay. We have a B-team Zerg that has a 30% chance of winning. Anyways, quick commercial break. When we come back, that winners match, Effort versus Queen.
For the best, made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design, a quantum leap in speed, optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling, and a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
Up, must come down. The energy you give it coming back around. Give it everything you gotta never settle down. If we had beat before, then it's settled now. Confidence, my prominence, applying my dominance. Standing in my way, better move back. Keep my weight tight like two rags. Cause people test you like a number 2 pencil, but I ain't come here for no games. If you let them, then they bound to get you, so I keep it hotter than the flame. Look, I don't complain, I simply maintain. Standing tall in the manifest. I'm not ashamed, my master's the game. I'm with all cuz I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. Cuz I'm the best.
They threw sticks and stones, broke down bones, it's tragic. But that's not the way it's gonna stay. Oh, got no time to breathe, it's up the sleeve like magic. Feels like magic, magic. Oh, they threw sticks and stones, broke down bones, it's
You miss all the shots that you don't take. And I'm not one to miss, I'm the one to make. But if you're gon' break, go break. Put your pieces back together, come back stronger, this is your fate. I got that magical flow, I'm on the magical road. This is that gotta have it, you could grab it. Magic that is automatic in my soul. Throw your sticks, throw your stones. Blood, sweat, and tears through the years make you grown. Set your pace, set your tone. Play by the rules or you play by your own. Go hard, don't slack. Always give your best shot to anyone. Give your all, watch your back. Better get ready, cuz here we come. Better get ready, cuz here we come. Better get ready, cuz here we come.
They threw sticks and stones, broke blood and bones. It's tragic, but that's not the way it's gonna stay. Oh, got no time to breathe. They set my sleeve like magic. Feels like magic, magic. They threw sticks and stones, broke blood and bones. It's tragic, but that's not the way it's gonna stay. Oh, got no time to breathe. They set my sleeve like magic.
We're back. Let's do this, man. I'm so hyped for this ZVZ. Queen and Effort. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be so good.
Yeah, and well, actually, never mind. I was like, oh, it's the island map. This would be extra crazy. No, it's ZVZ. It'll look exactly like the other ZVZs. The one thing to mention is that this has like the longest rush distance, and the Zerglings don't go through the center of the map. So the fastest Mutalisk flight path won't intercept Zerglings, and Zerglings are going to have reduced value because of how far out it is. So, yeah, those things definitely could come into play here. I'd imagine both of them are going to expand quickly. I'd be pretty surprised if they're going to play one match.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably right about that. The entrance is much more open. It's much more easy to be rushed and hit here. Yeah, I mean, like let's see what happens here. You know, ZVZ. Obviously with Protoss and a Terran casting this is the matchup that we are the least. I don't know. We're not experts in this matchup, but from what you said, Tastosis, that sounds like it's probably true. Yeah. Let's see if there's any surprises though.
Well, I mean, you can always do like a mind game, but if it's the furthest rush distance and you already know that, it doesn't make sense to just go like heavy Zergling unless it's a pure mind game.
Well, this is going to be good, guys. Get ready. We are going into Game 3 now. The winner is going to go on into the round of 16. The loser into the losers match. Effort vs. Queen. Let's go. Okay, Effort here in the top right, and Queen in the bottom left. So, yeah, this map, you basically have to, when you leave your base, let's take it from Blue's perspective here. Leave your base, you got to go then up and around, so you don't get to go through the middle. It's very much not a straight path to your opponent, which really impedes rushes.
Yeah.
It makes it, not really make a whole lot of sense to try to get damage in there. Doesn't mean the Lings and certain timing attacks won't play a role here, but we're curious how exactly that impacts the way this map is played. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I mentioned, I think it'll probably just come down to both of them expanding. It's hard to imagine. Like, the thing is, if you look at, like, rush distances, I should actually keep a better chart. I mostly keep them in my head. But, like, the closest rush distance on a map that anyone ever plays anymore would be, like, Fighting Spirit close spawns, and it's something like 26 seconds. So this map is closer to 45 or 46 seconds, which is further than cross spawn on any map. Most cross spawns are like 35 to 38 seconds, if I'm recalling correctly. So it's like, it's truly absurd how far it is, which makes it really, really difficult. And when you add that much, it's like, well, they have enough time to make a whole nother round of units by the time you get there. So it's just, yeah, and they're both going to go hatch first here. So it hugely not a surprise. It's like you have to take these types of considerations into it when you're watching. But this will likely be a longer game because when you're both going hatch first like this and you both kind of know it, the odds of both of you going heavy mutas and then kind of sitting because you don't have an attack timing and then probably taking a third base, it's very high.
So the Overlord scouting paths are pretty interesting. The Overlord for Effort is making a beeline to the expansion, but Queen actually sent his Overlord up through the possible Ling movement path.
Yeah.
And is basically scanning that area to see, okay, are there any Lings coming? If not, I'm going to squeeze out an extra drone. Get a little bit further along. Any more Lings coming? No. I'm going to squeeze out another drone.
It's an intelligent way to do it, I think. Effort with a more direct route just wants to go down and check the hatchery and everything, which I think is fine as well. You know, just different approaches to it. But they're going to end up in a very similar spot.
It does feel like there is not an easy spot to take a third base on here, by the way.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, 4 of the bases are islands. We just probably won't see an island taken here. I think that's too hard to do in a ZVZ. You'd have to upgrade Overlord Drop, which is the price of 2 mutas. And you'd have a slow Overlord that could be sniped by mutas with the drone inside. And then there's 2 bases out towards the middle. And both seem really hard to hold. The 2 expansions closest to the center that Zerg could take, so they're connected by land on that bridge. The minerals and the gas point out towards the opponent. And then the bases that aren't there, so basically mutas could snipe drones, stuff like that. Then the other bases that could be taken, in this case one's at 12 and one's at 9 o'clock, they're also so out of the way, it seems like it's hard to defend your natural and main and also defend that. So, you know, as much as this map creates fascinating potential late game situations in the other matchups, it seems really, really prohibitive as far as what you can try to do on even a third base in ZVZ.
That being said, I do think we'll see third bases in this game. Like,
yeah,
when
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, when you're going this high economy, nothing is likely to open up for an attack. Like, if you're both just producing mutas nonstop, even like Queen Effort is getting like a quicker second gas, and Queen is getting a quicker third hatch. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, maybe you get up a muta, but by the time you fly across and you're flying into a more defensive stance, like, is that going to do it? I don't think so. He has the extra hatch, so even if you snipe a couple drones, he can replace them pretty easily. But right now, a fair amount of Lings are being made by Effort. He is showing his kind of aggressive tendencies, but Lings are starting to hatch here as well. It's so funny because there's only one path, so they're just sitting Overlords at the path, so you can see every Ling that goes across the side of the map. This map really is insane.
He hit a lot, so he's going to try to hit at a moment where Queen might not quite have enough.
Yeah.
And this is enough Lings. I think it was something like 10 that were hidden here. So even if you start to make your own Lings now, it's going to be hard to defend this. There's a hatchery to kind of get in the way and create more surface area, but Queen is painfully low on Zerglings.
He is definitely way lower than Effort. Effort getting ready to get up here. He's going to attack in. You know, you have that conga line of Zerglings, but it's not totally ready for Queen. Uh-oh, Queen might just get run over here, man. Even though he has the extra larva, he was a little bit too greedy, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, the Lings are coming in here. They're doing a lot of damage. By the way, earlier I couldn't believe that hatchery actually blocked on the left side. I thought Lings could easily get around that. Now the Spire's under attack here.
Oh, boy.
These Lings are going to try to come up, and he's just not going to let go. He's going to take that out. I never noticed that when they zoomed in. It's like the Spire has a little spawning pool below it. Did you notice that?
No.
At the very base of the Spire?
It does? I'll have to check
next time
that
we
out.
see a Spire, because I promise you, we're going to see more in this game, or in this day of broadcast today. That was interesting. So Now, I mean, the problem is, even though the Lings have been held, how many more Mutalisks can you make? It would depend on, did he squeeze out a couple Scourge there at the very end? Because if effort isn't going to be stopped here, he is just going to win this game because there's no Spore colonies, no Evo chambers that could let you make Spores, anything like that.
Well, he's trying to make that, and he has a few. So, like, the right idea here to get those Spores up. If he could get the Spores up, don't forget, he still has the 3 hatches, so he still can kind of have some recovery play, but you can see effort here, just his ultra decisive play. This is what really makes a good Zerg vs. Zerg player.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't quite killed off any mutas just yet. They're kind of trading. He's going to end up keeping 2 alive. 6 are going to be out. The Spore's not done yet. I thought the Spore would have started. He might have been preoccupied microing the mutas. You can only be in one place at a time in this game. And so, once again, effort just with the next slitting move is going to take Queen out. I have to say, again, he is playing perfect ZVZs. Look at Queen's face.
Yeah, he just got bamboozled by Massling. The Queen was setting himself up for a bigger macro game, and effort. This is effort. This is how he plays. Like, he makes a decision, he goes for it, full blast. Like, he does not second guess himself ever. And historically, especially back in the Kespa days where he was winning championships, that was the most important thing for Zerg. And you can see that, this is why I was thinking he should win the group pretty easily, because his style really plays towards Zerg vs. Zerg. Great micro, and really just very decisive heavy aggression, which is what works in Zerg vs. Zerg.
Look at this attack that hits here. So, by the way, the amount of Lings he's showing before this happened is really important because it looks like the right number that you'd have to where you'd stop making Lings at. And then look at this hatchery, by the way. This is a great move on Queen. I didn't realize Lings can't get through the left side. It seems like effort didn't either until he actually attacked here. You could see for a second he tried to pull the Lings over there. Blocking in StarCraft Brood War, very misleading sometimes as far as what, buildings block what. But, this was the big moment. By the way, Artosis, see the spire? Look at this. There's like a pool at the bottom of the spire.
Oh my God,
I never noticed that before.
No, I didn't either.
And then you look at the pool at the top left. I never noticed. Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, that's the winning move because from here, it's so difficult to hold. By the way, Queen did almost hold it, but it's so hard to pull off. You're forced into making an Evo and 3 Spores. That's -4 drones, plus drones that were killed there, plus the mutas that were killed because you can't make any more mutas. Beautiful play there by effort, making it look easy. And he is going to be moving on to the next round.
You're watching Group D of the round of 24 of ASL Season 20 as we have our first player through to the round of 16 today. It's Effort. Congratulations. Thank you. After 4 seasons, you're back in the round of 16 and you are the first player through today. At that, how are you feeling? I was somewhat distressed having been placed in a 4-Zerg group. I didn't think I would take 2 straight wins. I'm happy advancing in this manner. Let's turn to some in-game talk. In the first game, you went for a reversed scouting pattern, aka not towards the opponent's natural as per usual. What's the reason behind that? When it comes to 3-player maps, a lot changes depending on how you scout. I've been caught before doing regular scouts, so that's why I played this way, I think. Effort certainly knows his maps, but in that first game, did you actually think the hatchery would go down? To be honest, it's not really something I was bearing in mind. I was a little surprised, but I was behind, so I had to try something. I'm glad it worked so well. That's right. Just like in the first one, you were likewise as aggressive in the second game. You went straight into the main and focused the spire. Could you please explain this situation a bit? In practice and in online tournaments as well, I would play the way Queen did. But having played this way, I felt it lacked initiative. It wasn't that good. I tried throwing a spin on it. Throwing a twist certainly worked. A lot of fans showed up to the studio to cheer for you today, and many fans and colleagues alike are surely watching online. I'm sure you will also have a lot of people to thank for helping you practice. Any words for them? First of all, my wife and my mother-in-law. They are here today. Thank you so much. And our university team's Zerg students came to cheer for me as well. Thanks for giving me your strength. For helping me practice Jaedong, the real Jaedong. BTS and HyuN, thank you so much for being so diligent. I was able to win thanks to you. We've just heard from Effort, our first player moving on today. Once more, congratulations on advancing to the round of 16. Thank you for the interview. We will take a short break and come back to see our second player move on to the round of 16.
Made for the best, made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design, a quantum leap in speed, optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling, and a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best, made for who you can be.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a short break. We are about to go into this losers match. We're going to knock one of these two Zerg players out. It's going to be Calm versus HyuN. Again, I think HyuN probably going to have a hard time. Calm is a very, very proficient Zerg versus Zerg player. But HyuN's a crafty guy. You know, This guy's in ASLs all the time. Not every season, but he's in a lot. He knows how to win. He's a solid player. Maybe just not, of the same caliber. You don't see him in the round of 8, really. You don't oftentimes see him even in the round of 16. But let's see what he's got, man. ZVZ best of 1. Anything can happen.
And we're going to Litmus, which has 2 gases in the main base. So I think that adds kind of an interesting set of things that can occur. Like if you go for the 1 base, heavy aggression, and your opponent expands, well, you already have 2 gases. And the odds of mining out 3,000 gas from these geysers before the game ends is almost 0. So I think this is going to be a highly aggressive map. I'd be pretty surprised if anyone expands right away. But I guess if someone were to expand, the odds that this would go into like a Hive game would get very high compared to other maps because you'd already be on 3 gas. But I don't think we'll see expands. I think it's going to be 1 base versus 1 base.
Wouldn't shock me. This has been the a lot of wins today with just mass slinging. ZVZ, it looks deceptively simple, but there's so much nuance, so much subtlety going on in what they're trying to do. And both HyuN and Calm are very good at that. Calm was one of the players that did the long distance mining on an extractor near the ramp. Was that him that did that, correct?
Actually, wasn't it Queen that did that? Or Calm?
I think Queen did it too. I think they both. I remember seeing it happen twice in a season and being like, whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, interested to see some of those ideas here. We'll find out, I guess, if the maps allow for anything like that here. But they're going to be on Litmus to go into this group. Again, the loser's out. So, yeah, let's see what happens. We're ready to go into that game now. HyuN versus Calm, starting now. Okay. looking at, I'm sorry, who is that? That's HyuN down here in the bottom. Okay, HyuN in the bottom and Calm in the top. And you know, ZVZ, sometimes on the maps where you only have 2 spawns, the plays can get even trickier.
Yeah.
Like 4-player maps, it's sort of a different beast where you're kind of playing an odds game and you're able to cut out certain amounts of information. Maybe you don't find them right away, but that also means they don't necessarily find you right away in some cases. In 2-player spawn maps, you know where the opponent is. But that also means you kind of know where their overlord's going to be.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we have situations on these maps where they'll be very smart about Ling runarounds. Or like, I'll show 4 Lings, but really I've got 10 making, I'm going to hit here. Stuff like that.
Yeah, you know the range 100% of where the overlord could be. You know? Like, so you can get away from it. Whereas on a 4-player map, it's like, well, the range just becomes so large and you don't know where they are. So it's like, yeah, you could get spotted. So we definitely have seen that. Like a lot of Sulky's Zerg vs. Zerg wins have been like that, where he just hides Lings in funny places on 2-player maps where he just knows how to get around overlords and stuff like that. But see how that goes down. It looks like both players saving up for a hatchery here. Wow, he's going to expand down. So HyuN is just going to take his natural. That's interesting.
You know what I wonder when I look at this map as well? Or just maps that are shaped like this. You know, hidden bases are not really a thing in ZVZ, but if there were to be a map where you could do it, maybe this would be the one.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be so concentrated to the right side.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying like that's what you should do, but I think in the last, we've had 20, well, this is season 20, so 20 seasons of ASL, I think we've had 1 or 2 games where there was a hidden base in the ZVZ.
Yeah,
so just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than Hive games.
Yeah. So, you know, the biggest feature for ZVZ on this map is the double gas geysers, right? A lot of times you look at a ZVZ game and you go, okay, if it goes on long enough, the guy with the second gas usually wins just because he has Mutalisks, as long as Lings can be avoided. But yeah, with a second gas in your main. Now remember, it does mine out, and that can be a factor in ZVZ, right? But it would seem like that would just give you an overwhelming lead early on here. But again, are we going to see the second gas taken? I think so. If he's making a second hatchery here, I would imagine that's what's going to happen. But we'll see. Yeah,
the first gas will go out around 12 minutes. So that's just, if we get up there, then that could play a difference. But it's pretty rare to get ZVZs that long. Like that's the peak end of ZVZ a lot of the time. Now, Calm has made his second hatchery in this main base so that he can mine really efficiently from this gas. HyuN sees all of this. HyuN has taken his natural base. My feeling here is if HyuN wants to win this, he has to play a very turtled approach. Like, he's going to have a good amount of spores. He's going to have to kind of do 2 little islands where he has lots of spores in his main. Then he has spores and maybe a sunken in the natural, just to make sure that he doesn't get overrun. Because Calm is going to be able to make a ton of mutas with the 2 gas right away. But there's 2 spots to defend for HyuN. There's really only 1 here for Calm.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of a funny setup to see here with the 2 gases, with this hatchery kind of far out. Doesn't lend itself to the best sim cities. A lot of times what you see for a base setup is the spawning pool down and to the left of the gas, and then occasionally the spire's made in there, occasionally a sunk is made in there, but basically you're set up in such a way that the spire's almost impossible to kill, and the sunken colony is even more so impossible to kill if that's what the position's going to be. But Calm's setup kind of leaves him a little bit open. He may just rely on the ramp to control, but again, there's 2 points of entry here as well. Obviously the top one's a lot harder to get into, but we should point that out. So let's see how exactly this is going to be held here. There's more Lings for HyuN. He just needs to kind of break this, and he does, so he slips in. 4 more Lings hatch, and I think this is just barely not quite enough.
Yeah.
As HyuN's going to have 2 more Lings come in here with the mix. The Sunk's going to be made. Again, the SimCity is not great for Ling defense here. I think that Sunk covers everything. I believe that can protect the Spire on the right side.
I'm not sure if it reaches the very right, but everything is fighting right now. Decent drone drill there from Calm. Feels like Calm has played this very greedily, which is kind of funny. Like, I think he thought there was no way there would be an attack or something like that. HyuN right now just spent all of his money. He just made 5 mutas, but 5 mutas already out here as well. Oh, God, he's getting quite a few drones as well. Calm might be in some trouble here, man.
Yeah, you know, it's more Lings than I appreciated. It does take one Sunken Colony a long time to kill that off. The question is going to be, can HyuN shut this down as it gets here? Because he's had 2 gases, he's been mining for longer, he needs to basically make 5 or 6 mutas, and then everything else has to be Scourge, and he has to strong-arm this muta fight.
Oh,
now,
man.
mutas can moving shot, so, you know, even if he ends up getting more, the damage that's accumulated because these mutas were retreating is pretty big. Here come the Scourge. He's got to try to split the Scourge.
Oh my God, the Scourge hits are so important here, and they mostly hit on HyuN's mutas. So there is a 1 muta advantage and 2 Scourge advantage right now for Calm, but we're in HyuN's base. So, you know, he is making some more units in there. I don't know if they're Scourge. I think they're probably Scourge. And if he can hit some of those, okay, he hits some right there. He hits 1. Good micro here from HyuN. He actually picks off the Scourge there. Still a slight lead for Calm, but don't forget, Calm is pretty low on drones right now, but he is doing the same to HyuN.
Yeah, he's definitely doing enough damage to these drones. It might start to even out. Another Mutalisk comes up, and Calm actually pulls away. 4 more Scourge inbound here. I see 1 drone mining minerals in the main here for HyuN. 4 mining minerals in the main for Calm. There are drones at the natural. I'm not sure how saturated it is over there, though. It looks like from the minimap there's nothing mining minerals.
Well,
oh my God, the moving shot is so sick.
Yeah. HyuN is just going to take this, man. Look at this. Like, Calm is in super big trouble. Takes a ton of damage there. His mutas are very, very low. He's trying to run back. He's trying to bring in some Scourge. Don't know if that's going to end up working for him.
How many mutas one-shot a Scourge, do you know?
Let's see. It's 25 health, so it'd be 4 mutas.
4 mutas, okay. So he's got that number. Oh my God, why is this drone here? I must have just been rallied because everything else was rallied, of course. There it is, you're right. 4 can shoot that down, so he guns that down. Now 4 more Scourge are going to come in here, and he just, like, drunk drove into those Scourge.
Yeah.
That was insane. Now we're up to 5 drones here. Imagine that this was 4 mutas instead of 2. I mean, the damage would be coming out literally twice as fast. Twice as quick.
Twice.
Imagine being twice as quick. Oh.
Oh, wow. Nice rally on the drone.
You're going to miss rally drones? Well, I'll do the same.
Dude, this is... just watching single Scourges chase single mutas is kind of funny. But
look at the minerals going up at the top right.
barely.
It's so slow. And HyuN, I think, literally has a drone mining minerals or something. Oh, no, he has maybe 2 or 3 more. Okay.
Yeah, he has like 5.
I take it back.
So he's actually down in drones, but he's up in mutas. Oh, my gosh. Oh, takes another hit from Scourge there. You know, when I watch these muta fights of both players, like, running around with the mutas, swiping them left and right, like, trying to hit each other, I imagine, like, a couple of, like, kids playing, like, a racing game with, like, steering wheels, and they're, like, leaning into the turns while they're playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's actually what I have in my head. I'm like, wow, you guys are pretty cool. Wow.
Okay, he's starting to kill workers. Calm has to stop this. Another muta hatches. Scourge are going to come in. He is getting connects.
Yeah, he's using his own Scourge.
Flick shot down.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's game, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, hold on though. He's still hatching Scourge. Like, if he can hit these.
No, I think there's just enough Scourge. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he uses his own Scourge to hit the Scourge, so his mutas don't have to do it.
Yeah. It's a crazy concept because it feels like that would not be the right move, but it is. GG. Calm is knocked out.
Ooh. Not what I was expecting.
What a great game.
Not what I was expecting at all, but good aggression there from HyuN. And, you know, Calm tried to go over and get that additional damage. Maybe he should have kept his mutas at home and cleaned those Lings up a little bit quicker. You know? Maybe that was the right play. I'm not sure.
You can see HyuN already thinking about the fact he has to go up against Queen now. I thought Calm was going to look a little bit stronger today. I think even he was a little bit surprised by how many drones got killed. Like, after he left and he went across the map, like, there were a lot of Lings still killing drones. There was
Yeah.
a lot of damage building up there. I mean, he took such a beating. HyuN just had enough to stabilize. Calm had his moment there. He started to execute drones, but I think too many resources have been gathered in that amount of time. Whereas, you know, Calm was trailing pretty far behind after a lot of those workers killed with the Lings.
Well, I mean, well done from HyuN. I think Queen is going to be pretty heavily favored against him here as well, though. I feel bad for Calm falling out so quickly. He is a good Zerg player, you know, an ex-MSL champion and all that, but hasn't really found that great level of success so far in ASL.
Yeah, there's always next season. Short break, guys. Coming up next, Queen versus HyuN.
Made for the best. Made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design. A quantum leap in speed. Optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling. And a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
This be the power of the people. Game field leveled out equal. It's all or none, there will be no sequel. Survival of the fittest, stay diesel. We get the medal, for less we'll never settle. Full throttle, foot down on the pedal. Bet on your boys unless you're trying to lose. Can't nobody do it how we lose.
We in the pocket, they clock it, but couldn't stop it. We took the game, swallowed the key, and locked it up. We steady rocking like blasting rockets up in the sky. Victorious, we glorious, the crowd cry. With tears of joy, your boys done it again. With perseverance, experience, the champs here. We here all year, you like all year. Look and stare at the career. We got the power. Yeah, we back, son. Stand back, we got the power. Yeah, we back, son. Stand back, we got the power. Yeah, we back, son. Stand back, we got the power. Yeah, we back, son. Stand back, son. Game on lock once again. Tell your mom, tell your pop, tell a friend. Yeah, we do it like nobody else can. Bring the beat back, that's the jam. How you like it, mom? I know you love it though. How you like it, huh? I know you love it though. How you like it, Joe? I know you love it though. How you like it, Joe? I know you love it. We got the power.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be going into this next match here. This is going to be the final ZVZ of the night. It's going to be HyuN versus Queen. HyuN did get the upper hand here over Calm. In a game where, like, it felt like for a little bit it could have gone either way, but there were enough drones killed early on Calm's side, and HyuN had enough drones alive. He was able to mine out enough. He got the upper hand with the Mutas and the Scourge, and was able to take the counterattack all the way back across the map and close it out with a win there versus Queen.
Yeah. And looks like we are doing another Google Play Points session here, Tasteless, because the day is so fast.
Are we on camera right now?
Yeah, we're on camera now.
It
took me a minute because I was like, wait a minute. We're normally I don't even look at the screen when we come back. I have your head up on another monitor, and I stare directly at you while you're talking, and I'm like, does his mouth move right when he talks? Like, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. Anyways, this is a super fast day. We're down to our last match, and HyuN has potential here to make a gigantic upset. Like, if he knocks out Queen, Queen is someone you expect to see, like, round of 8. He's a 2-time champion. And if HyuN were to upset that and go to the next round, well, first off, I think he would probably be the weakest player in the next round and probably, like, the first pick of... Well, not the first pick because Sulky's going to be picking. He doesn't want a Zerg player. But the second pick, most likely, going forward. Whereas if Queen goes forward, he might be the last pick,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm just thinking about this. Okay, so, like, let's say Queen got knocked out here. I mean, Calm already be gone is huge for Sulky. If Queen got knocked out, that would be another big win for Sulky because I think it's still fair to say Sulky is... ZVC is probably his weakest matchup.
Yeah.
This is the best player in the world right now, by the way, and is looking pretty flawless and pretty perfect. But what prevented him from winning ASLs in previous years, so everything before 2 years ago, was ZVZ. He seemed to have a tough time in ZVZ, even against players that I wouldn't say are like, top 8 of the top 24, but maybe even like the middle rung.
Yeah.
So top 16 players.
I actually want to dive a little bit deeper into what we're saying with that, because people will do things like point out statistically his ZVZ is fine, because you can find some stats like that. But for the very top Zergs in the world, their weakest matchup with the only time this wasn't the case was Jaedong in peak Kespa era, where he had like a 75% win rate in ZVZ. But everything other than that, the very top Zergs in the world, ZVZ is their weakest because you can't just exert your superior skill to win. Like, there is a certain amount of volatility that you cannot get rid of. So even if their win rate is good, it's still like, okay, but I want to avoid this because anything can happen. It's not like how Sulky against Terran will open pool first because he's like, if you don't get me the Marine Rush, I win. Because he's so much better. So that's just... Yeah. Kind of keep that in mind, that even if he has a good win rate, ZVZ is oftentimes something that used to hold him back. We talked about it for years, how Sulky should win a championship, and he hadn't yet. Now he's won 4 in a row. So yeah, he's hoping that HyuN takes out Queen here for sure.
Queen, this is a period where, he's been overcome by Flash in the past. He had his moments of winning ASLs and looking like maybe he's going to be the guy. Now Sulky's kind of taken the spotlight, not just in the race Zerg in general, but here in the ASL. He's won 4 ASLs in a row, which is insane. He wants to come back and win an ASL. He needs to find that path. Excuse me. But he's going to have to go through HyuN to get it. And I don't think it's going to be easy. I think HyuN is a very crafty player. Queen's going to have to really put the work in here. Okay, Queen in the bottom left. HyuN in the bottom right.
All right.
Both players sending overlords at each other. Guys, our final plug, our final call to action here for the broadcast. Please consider going to Patreon. Sign up. If you've already signed up, consider increasing the amount that you're supporting us with. We appreciate it. We love you guys, and we are so happy and so grateful we get to do StarCraft forever on into the future.
Thank you guys so much for supporting via the Patreon, for watching, for spreading the word about ASL. It's the greatest game ever made. And I'll say that till the day I die. You can't find a game that's better than Brood War, that has a better story, a better history, higher skill. You're not going to find that. And the game just keeps delivering, and it doesn't even look like it's going to break anytime soon. I've had a couple times over the years where I'm like, is this matchup going to get solved? But people have always found a way out to the point where I don't even think about that anymore.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's it always, this is, I guess, true. Just even outside of StarCraft, is that the present always feels very final. You know what I mean? Like we're in this moment, and times are not going to change. And it always feels like that in the meta for StarCraft, right? You look at it and it's like, well, it can't get more advanced than this. It can't get more modern than this. And then a couple of years later, you look back and go, oh, wow, people played so differently back then. People have learned so much more about the game since then.
Yeah, and I remember people used to ask me, when I first moved to Korea, I was casting MSL and Pro League for an online website, and people were asking me like, but isn't it old? Like, doesn't the metagame get stale? And I'm like, no. Within every 3 months, every strategy has changed noticeably. And the funny thing is, now that everything is streamed by the pros, it changes so much faster than that. We have like weekly metagame shifts in multiple matchups every single week. And I mean, if you just jump a year back, pretty much everything looks different from back then. It's absolutely insane. And it just continues to evolve.
Yeah. And, these new ideas come up. It's like, I think it's Emerson said, like, we stand on the shoulders of giants. It's true in StarCraft, right? Like all these things that the early players did that kind of influenced how the game was understood and seen. Then a new group of people build ideas on top of that. And we're basically over a quarter of a century through StarCraft with all these complicated ideas and theories playing off of each other. And each of the experts of these races reacting and trying to then, add some scaffolding onto those ideas and come up with these adjustments or build in these new theories. In this game, it's going to be one hatch layer here for HyuN, going across the map to try to hit Queen here, who is taking a second hatchery.
Yeah, HyuN actually does have that second hatchery as well. Both of them went for Zergling speed first here. Slightly quicker layer by Queen. And like a lot of Zerglings being made right now. I think that's a big part of HyuN's strategy today, is to kill his opponents with Zerglings if he can. But I don't know if that's going to be a really doable thing, because the Overlords are just scouting this. This is one of the funny things. If your Overlords found each other very quickly, it's hard to kill your opponent with Zerglings, because they see how many you're popping, and then they pop that many, and it's like, all right, well, we're even.
So he's got the Lings on the outside right now. By the way, I said it for a second, fast layer. They both took a quick hatchery here, excuse me. So things are a lot more even in this game here. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see the Spire thrown down here for HyuN. The Spire just maybe 150 HP ahead of HyuN's here, of Queen's here, excuse me. And so, yeah, a couple drones are going to be squeezed out. Very hard to get too many more out right now. This is a very wide open entrance at your natural, which means you need to have a decent amount of Lings. He can try to pull back here and use the hatchery as some cover, and then have the drones kind of as an obstacle course for the Lings to get through. But he's going to throw down a Sunken Colony. Now, there's a ton more Lings coming.
Yeah.
We need to see HyuN make this work, or Queen's going to be in an excellent position here.
Definitely like Queen's position a little bit more. Notice how he's standing back behind the Sunken a little bit. Sunkens have base 2 armor, which is really good against Zerglings. So you want to make sure some of their Zerglings are engaging your Sunken Colony. Great little Zergling conga line there from Queen. Looks fantastic. And that's like a very important defensive move. You put them so close to each other that when they're on attack move, they won't be that close. So you'll have some Zerglings where 2 are attacking 1. And your opponent can't do that while moving in. Maybe like a 5,000 APM AI robot could do that, but you can't do that otherwise. So that defensive conga line that you see where they click them right next to each other, incredibly important.
I think that HyuN made the right call not attacking in, by the way. I think that would have been a death sentence. Queen's setup is like perfect. That small line of lings. Okay, he's actually going to go for it anyways. This is kind of crazy.
God,
that positioning is horrible for HyuN.
Yeah, that was not the move right there.
I was just praising him for not doing this, and then he just went and did it.
They'll always disappoint you like that, Tasteless.
They always let me down, man.
Wait, he just one-shot his Scourge with 3 mutas.
Yeah, I guess we were wrong. It is
no,
3.
that doesn't even make sense.
We know
3
it's not
times
2.
9, man, is 18. Oh, wait, no, it's 27. Oh, my God. That's so funny.
They call him the human abacus, and
yeah,
he's just here
it is 3. It is
banging
3.
out these math problems.
Oh my God, that's so
they
funny.
They call him a walking TI-86 calculator.
Dude, that's so. I already know there's a million comments. LOL, that's not it. Artosis is not 4, it's 3. But of course, you immediately agree with me because you're as dumb as I am.
No, I refuse to ever think about math whenever we do any of these things. I've said this forever. If you say like, oh, it's like 12 plus 12 is 25, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. So we've got Mutas out, Scourge out, and it looks like Queen is going to try to hit. Now, remember that HyuN lost a decent amount of his own lings when he fumbled that attack into the Sunken Colony. And now we're going to have the engage. The lings are actually starting to overpower HyuN's position, which means now he has to fight both the lings and the mutas. And this means the lings are going to have free range to take out so many drones.
This looks so one-sided. I am actually blown away. Like, HyuN is losing everything at his natural. Queen is dominating. 100% domination here. That is crazy.
Yeah,
like, this game is over, man. There's no way you can win
I think it's over,
this.
man.
Yeah. He's down 10 supply. He's about to lose his hatchery. I don't think he can even save his hatch. And there's lings in his base
not at
still.
that last second.
Oh my God! Like, okay, well, HyuN unfortunately will be going out of the tournament here. He's going to go with an attack. Watch him win here with this. Like, of course, Artosis, you idiot. You thought 3 times 9 is 18.
You thought 10 plus 10 is 69, Artosis. Like, how did you even get that?
Everyone knows it's 420, LOL. Yeah, that's going to be it. Queen wins. Okay, effort in Queen made this group look pretty easy overall, but it's, crazy upsets can happen. It didn't happen this time.
Sure.
Tough group here for HyuN. I really don't think his style is well suited for this. Like, he is not that type of Zerg. He's more of like a lurker boy than a muta boy, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we, wrapped this group up. I think the 2 better players did move on. I think HyuN had a cool idea with the Ling, smash over at the second base, but Queen just had better positioning. The Sunk was perfectly placed. The Lings were perfectly placed. I thought HyuN wasn't going to go for it, and then he did. And the counterattack was just too much. Yeah, this was...
Who knows why he did
just
that?
Not in a million years. I mean, even without the Sunk, I think that wouldn't have been bad. He had a couple more lings that were made there.
Yeah, you add in the Sunken, and it's like, well, that just... The amount that doesn't make sense is insane. I don't understand why he would think that was appropriate. But
remember what we learned, guys. 3 muta hits kill a Scourge. Now we know.
Yeah.
It's not 2. Can be 4. 3 is the number.
I wonder if it's better if I claim that I screwed up on the math and thought that 3 9s is 18, or if I claim I thought Scourge had more health. Which one makes me look stupid or tasteless?
I think your best move is to say that I told you that before we started the broadcast, and that actually I'm wrong.
He was trying to set me up to look good.
That way you can mess up and then turn it on me. Yeah, you didn't turn it on me and be like, oh, tasteless, you said this earlier, but actually it looks like it's wrong. It's just too bad that you're always wrong. It's putting the cast together.
Well, I'm glad
there's no way to win this.
Yeah. I'm glad we're rewatching this where Queen had literally more of everything. They're like, yeah, watch this. He has more of everything. Watch how more of everything beats less of
so that's
everything.
what happened. I thought that HyuN was winning the whole time, but now I guess that we should actually just watch the whole game again. This is basically the entire game, guys.
Yeah. Rewatch all the series. I want to know exactly how long each game was and see if this entire day is less than one of our long games, like one of our TVTs that we've had.
Yeah.
I bet you.
I bet you we've had TVTs or PVTs that were longer. All right, guys, we're going to go to an interview with Queen. We're going to see how he's feeling. He's moving on to the round of 16.
ASL Season20 24강 D
And that does it for Group D of the round of 24 of ASL Season 20, as we have our second player through to the round of 16. It's Queen. Congratulations. Thank you. You advanced to the round of 16 in second place. How do you feel? I always thought that if you want to advance, you have to do it through the winner's match. My hands were shaking going into the decider. I see. You were stressed, but nonetheless, you succeed in advancing to the round of 16. In the first match you played HyuN, he was ever so aggressive. How were you planning on stopping him? I thought a lot about what build he would think I would use. I used reverse psychology to pick my early game strategy. That was the key for me. Your tech was late, so you had to make up for it with many spores. You played safe, and this trademark safe style was evident, especially in that first game. What are your thoughts on this? I got behind in the early game build-wise, but managed to easily macro up. And you suffered an unfortunate defeat in the second match that followed. I don't think you expected to get driven into a corner so hard by effort. What do you think? I was a little taken aback, but I still thought I could defend. But I guess my spire was placed a bit too far out. That was the reason I lost. But in the end, victory was yours in the decider, where once again you ran into HyuN. It was the same build. How did you decide to play it out? As soon as I saw it was the same build, I felt relieved. All I could think was how thankful I was. And how did you find a way to end the match? He kept threatening me with lings. The key for me was to make sure I dealt with that. Reading his opponent properly seems to have been the winning factor here. Many people showed up to the studio to cheer for you, and many will surely be watching online likewise. Please address them. You guys were surely worried, so I'm glad I managed to advance. I'll show you a good performance in the round of 16 too. Let me congratulate you once more making the round of 16, and thanks for the interview. Thank you. And that does it for our interview with Queen, who advances to the round of 16.
Well, there you have it, guys. Effort and Queen move on. One of those groups where it's like, we expect two of these guys to get out, and they do. Making the round of 16 that much stronger.
Yeah.
The only real upset was HyuN defeating Calm there.
Yeah. Calm didn't seem like he was playing all that well today, but I don't think he would have taken out Queen anyways. So it's good to see the very strongest players go through so far. Look at that Zerg lineup. Sulky, 4 championships. Larva, 1. Effort, 1 or 2, depending on how you count it. Queen, 2. And then Soma, at least 1 finals. Dude, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 championships out of the Zergs, if you count Vance Star League. 8 if you don't.
3 mutas kill a Scourge.
3 mutas kill a Scourge.
3 mutas
8 or 9 ASL championships from that Zerg
I'm getting it
side.
tattooed on my forearm, man.
Yeah.
It's going to look sick. When we come back tomorrow, guys, it's going to be Rush versus Paralyze and Jaedong versus Mong. This is going to be a great group. I'm very interested in seeing who's going to get out. I'm, of course, always rooting for Jaedong. It's always exciting to see him go deep. Rush, I think, is an easy through.
Rush, I think, is kind of the strongest here, but Jaedong's in great shape. Mong has cleaned up a lot of his Terran vs. Zerg problems. And Paralyze, I think, has a better chance as a first-time ASL player to get into the round of 16 than almost anyone ever has. He is unbelievably good. Paralyze is so legitimate. He plays all the hottest strats. He drives the fastest car. He's great against Hydra Bus. He's amazing against Terran. He beat Bisu in the day 1 qualifiers to get in here. The guy is the full package. Paralyze is an amazing player.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he actually performs under all that pressure in the studio, because that's always the biggest factor when you get a new player. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the ZVZ Deep Dive. Please consider signing up for our Patreon. We would love to earn your support on that. Artosis, any closing thoughts?
Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our deep Zerg vs. Zerg knowledge, and we'll see you tomorrow with the next group.